The Dark Avengers. They are a group of villains posing as heroes, and as the name suggests, they were impersonating heroes who have been part of the Avengers or associated with them. They first appeared in Dark Avengers 1 in 29, during the Dark Reign storyline. This team was founded by Norman Osborn, formerly known as the Green Goblin, who rebranded himself as the Iron Patriot, after he was appointed the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., which he renamed Hammer. Osborn's creation of the Dark Avengers was part of his broader strategy to replace traditional superheroes with his own controlled versions, following the public's shaken trust in superheroes after the Secret Invasion event, where Earth was nearly conquered by the shape-shifting alien Skrulls. The Dark Avengers roster is primarily composed of Norman Osborn, taking on a role similar to Iron Man and Captain America. Osborn leads the team while wearing a suit of armor styled after the heroes. Bullseye posing as Hawkeye, known for his deadly accuracy. Moonstone as Carol Danvers. She uses her powers to mimic the appearance and abilities of Carol Danvers. Venom McGargan as Spider-Man, the former Scorpion and host to the Venom symbiote. Daken as Wolverine, his Wolverine's son, who possesses similar powers and poses as his father. Ares and Sentry, two actual superpowered beings who joined the team not under false pretenses, but because of their own reasons, often manipulated by Osborn. The Dark Avengers were mostly Norman Osborn's Thunderbolts cosplaying as the Avengers. They were part of several key Marvel storylines, showcasing a team that, while publicly operating as heroes, engaged in morally shady activities that served Osborn's interests and the broader goals of Hammer. And the series explored themes of power, corruption, and identity, and it delved into how public perception can be manipulated and the ethical boundaries of using power under the guise of heroism. The team eventually fell apart due to internal betrayals and the unraveling of Osborn's mental state, alongside external pressures from the remaining true heroes and government oversight. This concept has been revisited in various forms within the comics, each iteration exploring the consequences of villains operating as heroes and the complex dynamics such a premise entails. Their storylines offer a critical look at the nature of heroism and villainy, making them a fascinating, darker counterpart to traditional superhero teams. Hydra. It's a fictional terrorist organization, often depicted as a major antagonist to both individual superheroes and larger groups like the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. The group was created by writer Stan Lee and artist Jack Kirby, first appearing in Strange Tales 135 in 1965. Hydra's origins are tied to its portrayal as a remnant of the Nazi regime, evolving over decades into a distinct entity with the motto Hail Hydra, and an ideology focused on achieving world domination through terrorists and subversive activities. It's known for its secretive operations and its structure resembling a multi-headed serpent. If one head is cut off, two more shall take its place, symbolizing the organization's resilience and its ability to regenerate and expand despite setbacks. This metaphorical resilience is matched by its literal ability in the comics, as Hydra often returns stronger with new leadership and strategies even after major defeats. They are known for their use of advanced technologies and biological weaponry, and Hydra often employs cutting-edge science and technology to further its goals. Leadership within Hydra has varied, with figures such as Baron Wolfgang von Strucker and the Red Skull, and these leaders often pursue their visions for the organization, which usually involve authoritarian control over the world's governments through force, manipulation, or infiltration. Its significant presence in the MCU has also cemented its status as a key player in Marvel's storytelling landscape. In the MCU, Hydra was secretly embedded within S.H.I.E.L.D., culminating the events of Captain America the Winter Soldier, where their existence and infiltration were publicly exposed, leading to the disbanding of S.H.I.E.L.D. But no matter the form of media, their ultimate goal is global domination through overthrow of existing governments and institutions, and they believe in the necessity of tyrannical control to bring order to a chaotic world. The Hellfire Club is a fictional secret society featured primarily as adversaries of the X-Men, created by writer Chris Claremont and artist John Byrne. The club first appeared in The Uncanny X-Men 129 in 1980. It is depicted as an elite social organization consisting of the world's wealthy and powerful figures who seek to influence global events to their advantage. The organization drew its name and certain elements from the historical Hellfire Clubs of 18th century Britain and Ireland, which were known for their corrupted activities and rumored occult practices. The club is structured with a hierarchy resembling that of chess pieces, with key roles including the Black King, White King, Black Queen, and White Queen, among others. And these titles often represent the leaders of the club, each wielding considerable power both within the organization and in external business or political sectors. Notable members of the club include Sebastian Shaw, often serving as the Black King. Shaw possesses the ability to absorb kinetic energy and use it to increase his strength, and he is a central figure in many of the club's machinations. Emma Frost. She is a powerful telepath and later becomes a significant figure in the X-Men universe. Her complex relationship with the X-Men and her dual roles highlight the blurred line between villain and ally. Jean Grey, temporarily manipulated into becoming the Black Queen, which plays a pivotal role in the Dark Phoenix saga, one of the most celebrated story arcs in X-Men history, which showed how easily they can influence mutants to their bidding and entertain them. The club's goals typically revolve around economic gain, political influence, and sometimes mutant supremacy, and depending on the members' alignment and personal ambitions, they often come into conflict with the X-Men, especially when their plans threaten the wider mutant community or global stability. And they have been featured in various media adaptations, including the animated X-Men series and the film X-Men First Class, where their early days and impact on historical events are explored. In these adaptations, the club's blend of historical, aristocratic elements with modern corporate strategies and mutant powers provides a rich backdrop for storytelling, adding layers to their interactions with the heroes of the X-Men universe. Overall, the Hellfire Club represents a powerful cabal that changed the X-Men not just with physical threats, but also through social and political machinations. The Cabal is a secretive and powerful group formed as a dark counterpart to the superhero assemblies like the Avengers or the Illuminati, and first appearing in Secret Invasion 8 in 2008. The Cabal's purpose is to deal with threats to Earth and the universe in a way that more conventional heroes cannot or will not, often implying morally ambiguous, outright villainous methods. And the composition of the group has varied, but it typically includes some of the most influential and powerful villains in the Marvel universe. Unlike other villain alliances, the Cabal doesn't work toward one common goal. Each member has their own goal, but aligning with other villains with more power allows each Cabal member to take over a country or defeat their enemies faster. One version of the Cabal was led by Norman Osborn, in which he gave the group strong financial backing, with members like the Hood, Loki, and Doctor Doom give them immense otherworldly power. But like all villain alliances, the Cabal turned on one another once some members realized their leader Osborn wasn't all dedicated to their causes as they were. Another incarnation of the Cabal featured during The Time Runs Out and Secret Wars storylines, where Namor, initially reluctant, forms a new Cabal to deal with incursions, events where alternate universes collide with each other. This group included Thanos, Maximus the Mad, Cherax, and the Black Order, who were more ruthless and willing to use extreme measures to prevent the destruction of their universe. And the Cabal, while not as prominently featured in media adaptations as individual members like Thanos or Loki, represents an important aspect of the Marvel Universe's exploration of villainy and complex moral questions, and their existence prompts both characters and readers to consider the cost of security and whether the ends can justify the means. So the group adds depth to the Marvel narrative landscape, showing that the line between hero and villain can be both stark and blurred, depending on the perspectives and stakes involved. The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, commonly known simply as the Brotherhood, is a group of mutants known primarily as antagonists to the X-Men. The Brotherhood was first introduced in X-Men 4 in 1964. The group was founded by Magneto, a powerful mutant with the ability to manipulate magnetic fields, who believes in mutant supremacy over humans. So the group's founding philosophy is rooted in Magneto's beliefs that mutants are superior to humans and should inherit the Earth. And this ideology often puts them at odds with the X-Men, who strive for peaceful coexistence between mutants and humans. And over the years, the Brotherhood's roster and objectives has shifted, but their core mission and advocating for mutant dominance remains consistent. Notable members include Magneto, the leader and often the driving force behind the group's actions, Mystique, a shapeshifter who can mimic the appearance and voice of any person, Toad, possesses enhanced agility and a prehensile tongue, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Initially members, they are Magneto's children who possesses reality-altering powers and super speed respectively, but they later defect to join the Avengers. The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants hasn't been a staple in Marvel and comes and goes depending on the direction of X-Men comic storylines. Throughout its history, the Brotherhood has undergone several iterations with changing memberships, including times when it operated under different names like Freedom Force, the Acolytes. These changes challenges often reflected shifts in leadership and strategy, adapting to new realities and challenges in the mutant and human worlds. So the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants serves as a critical narrative tool within the Marvel Universe, exploring themes of prejudice, radicalization, and the consequences of extremist views in the fight for civil rights, and their actions pose moral and ethical questions about freedom and security, and the nature of power, making them one of the most complex and enduring elements in the stories of the X-Men. The Masters of Evil, a prominent supervillain team that is primarily known as adversaries of the Avengers. The group was introduced in the Avengers 6 in 1964. The Masters of Evil was conceived by Baron Heinrich Zemo, a Nazi scientist and enemy of Captain America, as a counterforce to challenge the Avengers and execute his plans of vengeance and world domination. One of the most important events that both hurt and helped the Masters of Evil was when Baron Zemo avoided being caught after they lost to the Avengers. The members of the group were arrested, leaving Zemo alone to continue their mission. However, this made the former members lose trust in him and feel resentful. As a result, the group fell apart, which hurt their reputation among other villain groups. After, the Crimson Call became the new leader of the Masters of Evil, but they ended up facing the same problems as before. Other notable incarnations and leaders include Heinrich and Helmut Zemo, as both father and son have led versions of the Masters of Evil, with Helmut Zemo's leadership during the Under Siege storyline being especially notable for its intensity and the psychological impact on the Avengers. Ultron, the rogue AI created by Avenger Hank Pym, has also assembled a version of the Masters of Evil, using the teams as pawns in its wider schemes against humanity. And Dr. Octopus, who is known primarily as a Spider-Man villain, but led a version of the Masters of Evil in an attempt to expand his influence over the criminal underworld. The group have been involved in numerous major story arcs within the Marvel Comics. One of the most significant is the Under Siege storyline, like I mentioned, where the team under Helmut Zemo's leadership invades and occupies Avengers Mansion, leading to the dramatic confrontations and deep personal losses for the Avengers. And this storyline is often cited for its depth and emotional resonance, showcasing the dangers and personal stakes involved in the lives of superheroes. And while the Masters of Evil have not been featured as prominently in film or television as individual members like Baron Zemo or Ultron, they have appeared in various animated series and video games, where they are portrayed as formidable opponents to the Avengers and other superheroes, and these adaptations often highlight the diverse and dynamic nature of the team, adapting various lineups and storylines from the comics. The Black Order, a group of powerful and deadly aliens recruited by Thanos to serve as his lieutenants in his quest to conquer and decimate worlds across the universe. They were introduced in Marvel Comics' Infinity storyline in 2013, created by writer Jonathan Hickman and artist Jim Chung. The Black Order plays a critical role in Thanos' operations, carrying out his will with ruthless and efficiency. The members of the Black Order are Corvus Glaive, Thanos' right-hand man, known for his immortality as long as his weapon, a glaive form which he can regenerate, remains intact. Proxima Midnight. She is Corvus Glaive's wife and wields a spear that transforms into an avoidable lethal light. Ebonimo, more of a manipulator than a fighter, he uses intellect and powers of persuasion to bend others to his will. Black Dwarf, later renamed Colobsidian, the powerhouse of the group, known for his incredible strength and invulnerable skin. And Supergiant, a telepathic parasite capable of controlling and devouring the minds of her victims, though she is less frequently featured compared to the other members. Like I said, the Black Order served as Thanos' primary agents during the Infinity event, tasked with retrieving the Infinity Gems. Each member is dispatched to different locations on Earth to battle the planet's defenders and secure the gems. And their presence on Earth marks some of the most intense battles in the comics, showcasing their individual abilities and their unwavering dedication to Thanos' cause. The group was prominently featured in the Marvel Cinematic Universe films, Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. In this adaptation, their roles are slightly altered to fit the cinematic narrative, focusing on their mission to help Thanos gather the Infinity Stones, and the depiction of the Black Order in the MCU introduced them to a broader audience, highlighting their menacing presence and making them well-known villains in the Marvel franchise. Their skills, coupled with their loyalty to Thanos, make them a terrifying force in the Marvel Universe, and to be honest, they are one of my favorite villain groups in the MCU. The Sinister Six, one of the most iconic teams of villains in the Marvel Comics, primarily known as adversaries of Spider-Man. The group was first introduced in the Amazing Spider-Man Annual 1 in 1964. The Sinister Six was formed by Dr. Octopus, who united individual Spider-Man villains into a single force with the goal of defeating their common enemy through sheer numbers and combined strength. The original Sinister Six consisted of Dr. Octopus, the leader and mastermind behind the group's formation, Vulture, aerial combat specialist with a winged suit, Electro, who controls electricity, Kraven the Hunter, an expert tracker and hunter, Mysterio, master of illusions and trickery, and Sandman, that can manipulate his sand-based body to various forms. The premise of their plan involved each villain taking on Spider-Man individually in a gauntlet-style challenge, hoping to wear him down for the final defeat. However, their inability to work cohesively as a team often led to their downfall, and over the years, the composition of the Sinister Six has seen various incarnations with different leadership and membership, including characters like Hobgoblin, Rhino, and others joining in subsequent formations. And despite the change in rosters, the group's goal has consistently remained the same: to defeat Spider-Man and do more crimes. And the Sinister Six has been adapted into numerous Spider-Man cartoons and video games, each version presenting different lineups and story arcs, and they were slated to appear in their own feature film following the plans laid out in the Amazing Spider-Man film series, although those plans were later shielded with the reintegration of Spider-Man into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where we got the Sinister Five in No Way Home. I guess you can call them that. Anyway, thanks for watching.